Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Wolves preview, United's final game of the Premier League season. And joining me are two absolute titans of the Manchester United fan base. We've got Joe Smith, of course. Joe Smith 93, as he's known on social media. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good.
I'm doing really well. I like your jumper. You're looking good.
We've got a guest as well, haven't we, Jordan? Introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, I'm Jordan, and I'm hoping to be a regular, but
Yep.
we'll find out, won't we?
This is really the proving ground. So get in the comments and tell us Jordan thumbs up or Jordan thumbs down. And honestly, if I see one thumbs down, that's it.
Yes, we want 100% unanimous
This
record
isn't like,
here.
51%. This isn't some referendum. This is a dictatorship.
It
if
is.
anyone except all of us say we liked him, he's done in
Jordan
this town.
will return. You may have noticed him. He's been on the pre-match show before, giving us his predictions as well, usually from his garden. So we've got him in the studio. Right, United going into this game are a bit of shambles. Let's face facts. Our last 5 games, if we can get them on the screen there, are what I would say deem class as pathetic.
Iffy.
Rubbish.
Slightly iffy, that, isn't it?
Yes. The loss to Roma, I'll forgive, because we'd already beat them 6-2, even though it was a poor performance. The win against Villa is obviously a positive one. And then the last 3 games have just been just rubbish. Like, losing to Leicester, okay, it was the Rezzies. Losing to the Scousers, it wasn't the Rezzies, and that was an awful game. And drawing with an already relegated Fulham, get my words out, after that amazing goal from Edinson Cavani, it just wasn't good enough. Does that worry you going into this? Are you bothered with the Europa League final? Obviously, is the main sort of focus of attention next week.
I don't know really, because it's hard to know what to say, isn't it? Because my actual honest thoughts are, does it even matter? But then on the other hand, I think, well, I don't want to go into a game not caring if we lose or if we play bad, because not only do we want to win every game we play and we want to win every game we watch, but you don't want, what would it be? Let's say 3 wins in the last 4 games or 4 wins in the last 6 games, 4 losses, in the last 6 games, leading into a cup final.
No.
Because that doesn't help anyone in terms of confidence, in terms of how they're playing. You want this to be a game where we go in, we play well and we win, not because it matters in terms of the league, second place is wrapped up, but because if you just keep playing shit for a month, it's hard to immediately turn that round for a cup final when you want to. So I worry that this form is going to be hard to sort of, U-turn on if we continue the way we are. Because like you said, the last 2 games, that was full-strength teams, basically.
That's what I mean. And
so it's not like we've rested players.
Yes, I get where you're coming from there, my friend. Jordan, what do you reckon? Worried, bothered about the recent form going into... Let's face facts, it's not just about the Wolves game. It's what the concern is, the Europa League final.
Yeah, I think what we're going to see against Wolves is a strong team. I don't think there's going to be that much rotation. I know we're going to see McFred. They look injured, don't they? Don't think they're going to be playing. So when it comes to Wolves, we just go out them again, because you don't want to be going into the Europa League final in a really bad run of form. I mean, look at that. What's that? 3 losses, 1 draw in 5. And let's be honest, they weren't great games. As you said before, that was 2 games with the first team. And we can't afford to be going into the last game of the season in a bad run of form, knowing that 4 days later, it's the biggest game in all his United career.
That's interesting, that, because some people may look at it the other way. Some people not very far from you, actually, Jordan, when we get to the predicted 11s. If we do mix it up a bit, one player who may get a start, or he may get a start even if we don't mix it up a bit, is Donny van de Beek, because he's sort of figured a little bit lately. He hasn't had a great run in the side. I saw some people on social media, they're sort of doing the end of the season flop thing, a couple of throwing his name into the hat, which I thought was ridiculous, because I don't think he's been a flop. He just hasn't really had any chances. It's not like he's had chances and not taken them. But you can see there from the graphic, only 3 Premier League starts this season. Joe, are you a bit surprised by that at all? Because, he was our biggest signing of the summer.
Yeah, if you'd have said that at the start of the season, I would have been surprised. But the way it's gone this season, and it's not like we've been 8th place and he's still not got a game.
Yeah.
We've been 2nd. And for most of the season, or for the first half of the season, certainly, we were trying to fight and push for a title challenge, and we were winning games. So at what point do you just take out a player that's winning matches and replace him with someone that's never played for you? I think it's hard to do that. And obviously 3 starts isn't that many, and we've had plenty of time, maybe in the last 6 weeks, to give him more games than we haven't. But the problem is, when he has played, he hasn't really blown anyone away, has he? He's been good. He's been anywhere from good to sort of fine. I don't think he's had many games where you go, fucking hell,
No,
he was
I've
outstanding.
not seen one for United.
No, and Bruno has had, probably 20 or so really outstanding games and another 10 where you go, he was good today. Pogba, maybe another sort of 10 outstanding and 20 where he's been good today. Rashford the same, Greenwood the same. But Donny, when he comes in, he's either good or not so good. And I just think that sometimes, at some point, I know you haven't had many games, I know you've not had a lot of starts, but you've played enough minutes where you could have gone, here's why I have to start, look at this. And he could have even had a half of a game where he controlled it, he got a goal, got an assist. He's done some good dummies and feints, but I mean, sort of the best things he's done this season are stepping over the ball and letting Greenwood score behind him. Like, I know that's decent, but he's never really made that case where you go, he's got to start this next game. And hopefully, well, I'm not saying he's a flop or he can never do that and next season's a different season, but you can see why he's not started loads of games this season. It's not like he's been amazing and then he's been dropped. I just think he needs a bit more time and he needs to improve.
I don't know if we know what he is.
That's a fair comment, yeah.
Because we've seen him play on the left. Yeah. Sometimes coming off the bench, which I think is ridiculous because he ain't got the legs. I don't think he should be playing there anyway. We've seen him play number 10. We've seen him play as an 8, as a 6. What is Donny van der Beek? He falls into that bracket where, think of the players that play in the Premier League who are like that. Gundogan before he had an unbelievable season. Yeah. Wijnaldum, Moussa Sissoko and Ndombele, players like that. We don't know what he is, and I don't think even Ollie knows. I know he's had him for a year now, but if he doesn't know where his best position is, he can't get in the team. Simple as that. I think that explains why he's not been playing as much as he'd like to.
And that sort of ties in what you're saying, Joe. There's nothing wrong with playing in several positions if you're very good in all of them. If you're good as a 10, you're good as a 6, you're good as an 8, or you're great at one of them and then good at the others. But
like Pogba's done that.
Yeah,
Pogba's played as 6, 8, left-hand side, and he's been anywhere from good to sensational in all of those positions.
100%. I'm one of those, I've said this millions of times, but I've not seen a lot of him. I didn't see a lot of him at Ajax. I saw a bit in the Champions League, so I'm judging off what I see now when I haven't seen enough of him. And when he has played, I think I go back to the Leicester game. I know everyone was terrible, but he didn't do anything. I think he got subbed in the end, but he looked like he was playing within himself. He didn't want to get forward. There was a couple of times I remember when Martial had the ball and he wouldn't make a run past him, and I was thinking, go on, just do something. One player on the other end of this sort of the signing spectrum, if you will, is Ahmad Diallo. Now, he's had a couple of games recently. He had a start against Leicester, of course. Got an assist in his first ever Premier League start. Obviously, it's different with him and Van der Beek. Van der Beek, we expected to see a bit more of. Ahmad Diallo, I don't think we expect to see anything of this season because he's obviously been bought in long term. And I think the reason he could cost 37 million potentially is because of the fact we had to get in early to get him, and those are all add-ons rather than buying someone who's sort of worth that money because they're ready now. George, what do you reckon about Ahmad Diallo? Are you excited for him for the future? Do you think he's got any part to play against Wolves? I know we'll get to the predicted 11 shortly.
Well, you'll find on mine that I think he will.
Right, okay.
And this kid looks mega.
Yeah.
We've seen him in the under-23s. He's scoring free kicks for fun. He's dribbling past people. He looks like the real deal. But I understand why Ollie's not throwing him in straight away because he must be about 5'5" or something. If he goes against like a Brighton fullback, that Dan Burn's about 7'30". You put him against him, he'll put him into Rose Ed.
Fact,
and
yes,
you
that's
don't.
That's his official height.
It's his official height. It's 7'30". Yeah, definitely. And I don't want him to be thrown in like that and then get worried about the physicality of the league. But we saw when he come on against Fulham, his touch was unbelievable. His dribbling ability, even at 18 years old, it's frightening. And I can see why Ollie paid all that money for him because he looks the real deal.
He absolutely. I've been impressed with what I've seen. We spoke to Romano on the show on the Tail podcast about 4 months ago, whatever it was, and he was raving about him. He said, "Listen, I've been speaking to people at Atalanta who are saying they're amazed Juve didn't come in for him because he's just mint." He said in training, he said United have got a gem there. Obviously, things can not pan out the way you want to, but certainly the start has been so far so good in the Europa and in this. In his Premier League start, have you been impressed, Joe?
Yeah, he's looked good. I think he obviously needs a lot more time.
Yeah.
Like he looks very raw, he looks very young. Like Jordan said, he looks small. He looks quite, I wouldn't say timid at all, but he's got that kind of, what's going on? Oh, he's got away from it. Like he's never sort of, Ronaldo would pick up the ball and just drive past players. Yeah. He doesn't quite have that yet, but he's not going to have that yet. He's not Ronaldo and he's not 22, 23. He does need to develop physically, I think. But his touch and his dribbling and his movement on the ball is brilliant, and his control of his passes and his vision is one thing that stands out as well, because a lot of 18-year-olds at that sort of style of player are all just focused on, let me get in front of goal, cut onto my strong foot and score. Let me have a shot. It's rare that you get a player of that age who his first thought is, where's the pass? His first thought is, there's a man, let me make the pass. He's a sort of assist-first kind of guy, and I think that's really impressive and exciting, because it takes a level of maturity to go, I don't want the glory of scoring, I want to set that up for someone else, and I want to do the best thing for the team, regardless of whether that gets me another number in the goals column. And I think we're seeing that from him, and I think you could see that from him at Atalanta as well. That's a really impressive sort of composure and measure that he has about him that a lot of youngsters at that age don't have.
Definitely. With all that being said, shall we look at everyone's start 11? Joe, I'll start with you.
Go on, then.
Is this your preferred predicted? How have you
Predicted.
done it?
It's tough at this time of season, isn't it? When you've got the cup final coming up, it's the last game of the season. I've sort of gone somewhere between resting players and a full-strength team. I've made a few rotations here.
Yep.
I've gone with Henderson because I think De Gea will play in the cup final. He's been playing in the Europa League pretty much all the way through.
Could be his swan song.
Yeah, I think that's why he played against Fulham at home, because I think it was his last game at Old Trafford. Yeah. Then we've got Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Tuanzebe and Tellez, Bailly being saved for the final, Shaw being saved for the final. By the sounds of it, Fred and McTominay are both doubts. So if they are a doubt, I'm sure Ollie will want to play them in the Europa League final, because that's what he does. So I think he'll rest them here. So I've got Matic and Pogba deeper, and that allows Rashford to play on his favoured left-hand side as well, because Pogba a bit deeper. And we saw that partnership with massive success at the end of last season. What was it, 10 wins out of 13 or something to finish the season off?
Yeah.
So I don't think we need any worries about playing those two together. And then, as I mentioned before, Van der Beek is in there. His sort of preferred number 10, or supposedly preferred number 10. He's acclaimed for his ability to time runs into the box and support the striker. So let's get him in that position where he can do that. Then Diallo on the right. And hopefully, we saw footage of Martial earlier in the week or end of last week training. Yep. Hopefully, he'll be ready to play. I don't think he's going to start in the final. I think that's there for Cavani. But hopefully, Martial will be available. That's the only one where I'm slightly iffy, because he might not quite be ready yet. But I think if he is, I think Ollie will want to get him some minutes and give Cavani a bit of a rest as well. No,
it all makes sense, that to me, mixing it up. You don't want, like you were saying earlier, and I think you both said, you don't want to go into the final off the back of a horrendous run, so you want to give yourself a fighting chance, but you don't want to play your full-strength team, especially if some people are carrying little niggles and just look a little bit out of sorts. So I like the balance there of the likes of Diallo, Van der Beek coming in, and Matic as well, and Tellez, but having those sort of, the reliable ones like Rashford and Pogba. And Andy Martial, it's an interesting one. Let's see how far he is, or how near he is to actually coming back. George, let's have a look at yours, mate.
Yep.
So this is your predicted 11. Talk us through it.
So I think De Gea's going to start.
In fact, hang on a minute. Let's tell everyone, what did you do and ask for your team? I asked you to send you your team this morning, didn't I? Go on, tell everyone. Tell everyone what you said.
I've had a very long morning.
Yeah.
These lads know that I'm a United fan. I have been all my life.
I have been all morning.
Yeah, all morning.
Yeah.
I asked him to send his team.
What?
And he went, what team? I went, your team for the preview. He went, it's United.
Yeah. It's not which team do you want to win.
Yeah, which team do you support? We know it's United.
Yeah.
I want you 11.
Me and Jay toss a coin before every home match.
Yeah.
Or away match and go, who are we supporting us?
Oh, I had Fulham the other week. I was cheering that equaliser.
You were well happy, weren't you?
Oh, mate, I was buzzing.
So you're going with United
as
your team for this game?
I think.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
As you can see, I've gone with United. Go on then. Talk us through it.
I've been drawn for Stretford, Paddock. I'll see you later, yeah. No, I think De Gea will start, because I've got a feeling that he's going to give him a run of games before he may look like he's going to leave.
Okay.
That's why I've put him in. 2 centre-halves, I've gone Axel and Bailly, because I think the performance in this game is going to determine if they start in the
So you don't think Maguire's going to start then?
I think he's probably out.
Right.
Probably.
No chance is he starting. No one thinks Maguire's starting.
I don't think he's starting. I don't.
Not.
And he's not.
In
Let's face that.
2 days ago.
When we say he's not starting, he's not playing.
Nah.
This isn't Rashford.
He's not on the bench.
He's not coming off the bench to get us a winner. He's missing out on what would be the biggest night of his career.
Yeah.
Probably. And I'm gutted for the kid. Go on.
It is gutting for a minute, but that's why I think those two are going to start. 'Cause I think Ollie trusts Lindelof in a way.
Lindelof starts in the final.
He starts him. That's why I think them two are in.
Yeah.
Sure, he's been unbelievable all season. I don't think he warrants a drop. Matic and Pogba, because McFred's injured. I think I don't want to start Van der Beek in a position he's not comfortable. Ollie says he wants Bruno plays every single game. That's why I put Bruno in. Rashford to get a 90 in under his belt before the actual big game that's going to be, it's probably the biggest game of his career so far. Diallo, because I want him to get minutes. You know, we want the guy to play. We want him to get comfortable with the first team. And obviously, you cannot drop El Matador after that goal, despite the result.
Well,
I mean,
can he play
what
though?
a
Can he
goal
play
that was.
2 games in 4 days? Is it?
Yeah, 3 games in a week is
Yeah.
the suggestion there, isn't it? Which is my worry. But
you know, George obviously expects a lot from this 34-year-old, but you know,
He's kept himself in good nick ever since he joined us. You
Listen.
can't deny that he's a very fit man.
he is in many
In
ways.
many ways,
yes,
indeed, yeah.
he certainly is. No,
I'll
again,
say so, lads. Eh?
it's the similar thing to Joe. I think yours is a little bit different, obviously, but I can see where you're coming from if Maguire isn't going to start and there is that space next to him up for grabs. Space next to Lindelof, sorry, up for grabs. Very strong, actually, your team. And look at you got Pogba, Fernandes, Rashford, and Cavani. That's a little bit stronger.
Wolves seem to be a bit of a bogey team for us. We've
do.
played them 8 times since 2018. We've not scored more than 1 goal. We've won 2 games out of 8. They're a bit of a bogey team now.
See, what are you going to say to that?
Bruno's debut, wasn't it? It was against Wolves,
Yeah,
0-0. Yeah,
it was.
Against the Portugal
Come on then,
national
Jay,
team.
shows your team.
I'll shoot him. I'll shoot him.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
You're going on about ours like this too strong. What's this?
There you
Look
go.
at this.
There you
Pathetic.
go.
Ilanga.
There's a team you can set your
Rubbish.
watch to. Right. Hey,
Go on.
Henderson in goal because I think De Gea is going to start the final because
Yeah.
he's been playing in the Europa League and I think that could be his last game, for Manchester United Football Club. I've gone with Lindelof. I think you need to have at least one person that kind of plays when everyone's fit, and especially in defence. So I've got Lindelof, Tuanzebe, Telles, Williams. I'm going the opposite of you guys. I'm resting people because I think they need a rest. And you know what? Unbeaten records and all that in the Premier League are well and good. Yes, we've got a shocking run. We've had a shocking run of games. You don't want to end up with a loss. But the main priority for me is make sure everyone's fighting fit for Gdansk. That's got to be it. So with that in mind, I'm not sure about Fred. I know you said he might not be fit. Because he was, ironically, he's the one player I thought could probably play 2 games in 4 days because he just seems to be like the Energizer Bunny. But we'll see on that one. Matic alongside him. In front 4, Anthony Elanga. He's a good player, Andy Elanga. Don't let the Leicester game confuse you. He didn't really try a lot. He didn't do a lot. He just kept it simple. I think that maybe the nerves got to him a little bit and he just didn't want to make any mistakes. It wasn't a bad performance by him. It was just a bit of a quiet one, and he isn't that type of guy. Dave Pritt absolutely raves about him in Academy Review. He's got a trademark sort of cutting him from the left and banging it top bins, goaling him. So I'm going to give him another chance in this. Donny van der Beek for the reasons we've said. Ahmad Diallo for the reasons we've said. And I know where you're coming from with Martial. I was wondering about Martial myself, but I think this may be a game too soon for him. I think he might make the bench for Gdansk, or he might even make the bench for this, sorry. But I'll go with Mason Greenwood up top because unlike you, George, I just think Cavani, 3 games in 8 days or whatever it is, or 10 days or a week. What is it, 3 games in a week would it be if he plays in the
8
final?
days.
8 days, sorry. I just feel like you have to have him 100% in Poland. I think he's got to be just on it. So that's why I've got a little bit more cautiously. Let's look ahead to the Wolves. As you said, George, our run of... In fact, we'll start with them. What's Wolves' run of form been like over the last 5 games? We'll get that up on there. You can see...
Same as ours.
Awful, really.
Same as ours,
Exactly the
Beating
same as
Brighton,
ours, yeah.
drawing with West Brom, and then losing to Burnley. Is that Burnley with a hammering? And then a beating by Spurs, beaten by Everton, yeah.
Has anyone ever lost a game to Burnley 4-0?
Don't think so. I actually don't think
No,
so.
I think
that's
that's
a-
not in the
entirely
Premier League
new
anyway.
stat.
In the Premier
That's a
League,
new
yes,
stat.
definitely. I mean, that is dire. If we are going to beat Wolves, though, we can't just sort of take this for granted that this is it. We're going to win, and they do have some good players. The main one seems to be Ruben Neves, who's got a decent record against us as well. Having a decent-ish season, not amazing. He's had his moments. 6 goal contributions in 35 games. I know sometimes he does play a little bit deeper, so it's not all about assists and goals. Joe, I'll start with you. Looking at Wolves, looking at their form, looking at some of the players they've got, are you concerned?
Well, like Jordan said, we've just not been very good against them, have we?
No.
In recent seasons, for some reason they seem to have a way to play against us that works time and time again, regardless of what's going on with their season. They've not been.
There you go. We've brought that up in the
not been
graphic
very
there.
good this season compared to their usual standards, where they're trying to push for European football. They've been kind of nowhere near that all year, really. But I still expect them somehow to come up and put in a decent performance against us because that's what they do, and they find a way to do that. And I don't really understand why. And obviously, Ollie doesn't quite understand why either because it keeps happening. And look at that, like again, Jordan said, it's a lot of ones and zeros on there. It's like fucking binary results against them, isn't it? Just ones and zeros, and that's it. So I don't expect a high-scoring game. I expect it to be difficult. That's why I did put Rashford and Bruno in, because I think we're going to need a bit more to break them down. I think we will struggle if we go too weak, and I know that it doesn't matter to everyone, and obviously winning the Europa League is more important, but I think Ollie will really care about this unbeaten away form. I think he would love to be able to go into next season saying to the press, saying to the fans, saying to the players as well, we didn't lose away from home all season in the league. And I don't know if that's ever happened for United in the Premier League. Certainly, I can't remember it happening. Not that, I know every single thing off by heart, but it's certainly not a regular occurrence. You usually put your home form first, and then the away form follows. But United have been sensational away from home. I don't think we want to end that with a loss. And they're going to have to be right on it because, like I said, no matter where Wolves are, what they're doing, who they've just lost to, they always put in a performance against United, and I think it's going to be really tough.
With all that being bared in mind, Jordan, with what Joe said, what you said earlier about Wolves and the fact that, these games haven't been high scoring and they're not having a great season, our form's deserted us. Give us your score prediction, mate.
Well, I've done 3 score prediction videos.
You're the kiss of death.
And we've not got a half decent result out of it since I started.
No, you haven't. You've been absolutely terrible.
I'm going to go
I'm blaming
2-0.
you personally responsible.
2-0.
To who?
To Manchester
The
United.
team who he supports.
Do you
I'm
double check
supporting
you.
for this game.
Hey,
yeah.
right.
The coin toss said that I'm a United fan for this game.
Good.
So I'm going to say 2-0 to Manchester United, and I'm going to say Rashford's going to score, and I'm going to say Mason Greenwood's going to come off the bench and score.
Right. Nice. I like that.
Nice.
I can't really say anything other than a 1-0 win now after what I've just said there, have I? So I'm going to go 1-0 United. I think 2 1-0s for United this season. Bit more defensive surety, should I say, suredness, because we've been shocking defensively recently, giving away chances left, right and centre. And people can, say it's Harry Maguire not being in the squad, but there's been a hell of a lot of reasons why we've been bad defensively. Fred giving the ball away in front of him, Luke Shaw dribbling into no man's land against Liverpool, Henderson knocking the ball straight back into the box, and that was for 1 goal. Let alone
that was a comedy of errors, wasn't it?
Wan-Bissaka chasing his man, Lindelof not communicating properly, Greenwood not tracking back. There's a load of reasons why we've been bad, and only one of them is Maguire not playing. I think if we just rely on this thing of, well, Maguire's not playing, so we must be shit. Well, no. United had clean sheets before we bought Harry Maguire. We need to be able to defend better. And I think having Pogba and Matic, if that is the defensive two, they're going to have to be very disciplined. But I'm going to go 1-0. But we need to sort out this defence. And we can't just say, Maguire's not playing, so what did we expect? Well, you don't get to do that. You have to be better than that.
Yeah, and you expect Manchester United to be beating anyone at home, really.
Yeah.
Especially Liverpool, to be honest with you. Liverpool are a good team. Should be up for that one with your strongest team, especially the season we've had and the one they've had. We've been far better than them. So yeah, that was a particularly frustrating. And even then, I don't go on and on, but Fulham, the fans are finally back. You've got a goal that you're going to remember forever, and then we just go to sleep in the second half and faxing our performance.
Just lackadaisical.
Yeah, it was. And it's
you back Wan-Bissaka's defensive ability there. 1-on-1, unbelievable, probably best in the league. But it was just 1 second where he just switches off like that, and then he lets a fullback come in for an header. It's calamitous.
There's a fullback against Newcastle that scored against us as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If they overlap or double up on that side, they get 3 chances easy. And I think it's a mixture of things, like I said, but we've got to sort it. We have.
What's
your prediction?
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about me then.
Yeah.
I'll go with... You've said 2. You said, I'll go with 3-0.
Wow.
3-0.
Do you actually believe that?
Diallo, Elanga.
Never answered.
And...
Diallo again.
Tellez with the goals.
He doesn't believe it, does he?
Yeah, I do believe it. I'm not a gambling man, but I'll go and put some money on it now.
How much? 50, all right, you're not a gambling man. 50 grand.
Yeah. All right.
£1 million.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll put £1,050,000 on. There you go. I even did the maths in my head. Quick maths.
The house is on the line.
Hey, I wish my house was worth £1 million.
Yeah, not your house. Buckingham House. What Queen lives in.
Right, we'll be here for the watch along for the Wolves game. It's going to be, I think it's you. Mm-hmm. Is Macca here?
No, Stephen Howson.
Andy
Tate.
And Andy Tate, the dream team, eh? You're getting the big hitters out.
Trio.
Me and Jordan will probably be around before the game. He'll be giving his match prediction again. And I'll be with Alex Bagger, so make sure you're checking it out. If you're not checking out as well, have a look at all the other good videos we've got on the channel. Dave Pritt, I mentioned him earlier. We've had the Academy review from him. We've got all the other good stuff. And we've got a very special Howson's brew coming up as well this week. So make sure you're checking this out. Jordan, where can people find you on social media?
JD Simpson 98 on Twitter. Go and follow that, please. Thank you very much.
Very nice. You know where to find him, Joe Smith 93, and you know where to find me, Jay Marty. This has been the Stretford Paddock Wolves preview. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.